Okay, get this. We're diving into palmistry today.
Palmistry.
Yeah, you like palm reading and fortunes and all that.
Oh, wow.
But we're zeroing in on one specific thing.
Okay.
The mysterious M mark that some people have on their palms.
Ah, the M mark.
Apparently, it's super rare and supposedly means you're predisposed to certain traits.
Right.
And get this, we found an article that lists 6 hidden meanings of this mark.
Oh, wow. 6.
6.
Sounds interesting.
Let's hear what this article says, and you tell us what's really interesting here.
Sounds good.
So first, can we get a quick overview of what this whole M mark thing is all about?
Sure. So palmistry is basically the art of reading hands to reveal personality and destiny.
Okay.
And the M mark, it's this special marking that's formed by the intersection of the heart, head, and lifelines on your palm.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, it's pretty rare to find a perfect M mark.
Right.
And those who have it, well, they're said to possess some pretty unique qualities.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So let's dive into those hidden meanings.
Yeah.
What's the first one this article talks about?
All right, so the first hidden meaning is intuition.
Intuition.
That inner voice or gut feeling we get sometimes.
Okay.
Like that feeling when something just doesn't seem right, or when we're drawn to a certain path but can't really explain why.
Oh, yeah, I get that sometimes.
Exactly. And people with the M mark, they're believed to have a super strong sense of intuition.
But isn't intuition kind of unreliable?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes my gut just wants another cookie, and that's not always the best guide for, well, anything.
That's a great point. You definitely don't want to blindly follow every whim.
Right.
It's more about recognizing those subtle cues and then evaluating them critically.
So it's not just some mystical force,
Not necessarily.
but our brains kind of working behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's like our subconscious is processing information and sending us signals through our intuition.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So it's not about ignoring logic, but learning to listen to those gut feelings while also using your head.
So it's like a partnership between your gut and your rational mind.
Exactly, a dynamic duo.
I like that. So we've got intuition covered. What's the next hidden meaning this article brings up?
Well, the article claims that M mark is also linked to a heightened sense of empathy.
Empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay, so what does that mean exactly?
It means that people with this mark supposedly have a deeper capacity to not just understand, but actually share the feelings of others.
I can see that. If you're more in tune with your own emotions and intuition, maybe it's easier to pick up on what other people are feeling.
Exactly. It's like having this extra sensitivity to the emotional world around you.
Right, and I guess that could be really valuable in so many areas of life.
Absolutely. Imagine being able to truly step into someone else's shoes and see the world from their perspective.
Yeah.
That kind of empathy could really make a difference in personal relationships at work, even in society as a whole.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this M mark is considered so special. But isn't there a potential downside to strong empathy?
What do you mean?
Well, taking on everyone else's emotions all the time sounds kind of exhausting.
You're absolutely right. It's like having an emotional antenna that's constantly on high alert.
Exactly.
It can be totally overwhelming and even debilitating if you don't manage it properly.
So what can people do to manage that?
Well, the article stresses the importance of boundaries for those with a strong sense of empathy.
Boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Like telling your friend you can only handle their drama for 15 minutes, then it's puppy videos and ice cream time.
Well, maybe not in those exact words, but yeah, you get the idea.
Okay.
It's about setting healthy limits so you can be there for others without sacrificing your own well-being.
So finding that balance between compassion and self-preservation.
Exactly.
That makes sense. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? Okay, so we've got intuition and empathy. What's the next secret this M mark is hiding?
All right, this one might surprise you.
Okay, lay it on me.
The article connects the M mark to leadership.
Leadership. Really? I thought we were talking about palm reading and not boardrooms and power suits.
It's not about that traditional image of a leader, you know, the one barking orders. It's more about those qualities that inspire and motivate others.
Like what kind of qualities?
Well, think about the people who naturally draw others to them.
Okay.
They have this knack for seeing the big picture, taking charge when needed, and they just kind of radiate this sense of confidence and purpose.
Right.
The article suggests that those with the M mark might possess those inherent leadership qualities.
So it's not about having a fancy title or bossing people around, but about having certain traits that make others want to follow your lead.
Exactly.
Interesting. What kind of traits are we talking about specifically?
Well, the article highlights 3 key components of this type of leadership: integrity, courage, and vision.
Okay, go on.
So people with the M mark might be more likely to stand up for what they believe in, even when it's difficult.
Makes sense.
And they might inspire others to do the same.
Right.
They might also have this clear sense of purpose and direction, a vision for a better future that they're driven to create.
So it's not just about leading others, but about having a strong sense of self and purpose. So it's not about bossing people around, but inspiring them to be their best selves. That's a refreshing take on leadership. Okay, 3 traits, down 3 to go. What's next on this M-Mark mystery tour?
Now we're venturing into more esoteric territory.
Esoteric. Okay, hit me with it.
The article suggests a link between the M mark and spirituality.
Spirituality. Okay, this is where I get a little skeptical. Does that mean everyone with this M mark is walking around with a crystal ball and talking to ghosts?
Not necessarily. Remember, spirituality is a pretty broad concept. It's not just about organized religion or supernatural stuff.
Right.
It can also be about a sense of connection to something bigger than yourself, a feeling of awe and wonder at the universe, or a deep appreciation for the interconnectedness of everything.
So it's more about having a sense of meaning and purpose, seeking answers to those big questions about life and existence.
Exactly. The article suggests that people with the M mark might have a natural inclination towards those deeper questions, a yearning to understand the spiritual dimensions of life.
Maybe it's that heightened intuition and empathy, making them more attuned to those subtle energies and connections.
That's an interesting thought. Perhaps those at the M mark are more sensitive to the unseen forces that shape our lives, the energies that flow between people and throughout the universe.
Okay, I'm willing to keep an open mind. So we've got intuition, empathy, leadership, and spirituality all linked to this M mark. What's next on our palmistry adventure?
The article claims that those with the M mark also tend to be highly creative.
Creative, like artistic types, painters, musicians, that sort of thing.
That's definitely one expression of creativity, but it goes beyond that.
Okay, how so?
We're talking about a way of thinking, a willingness to think outside the box and see things from a fresh perspective.
Oh, I see.
It's about innovation, problem solving, and finding new and better ways of doing things.
So it's not just about making art, but about approaching life with a sense of curiosity and a willingness to experiment, to break the mold and challenge conventions.
Exactly. And that kind of creativity can be valuable in every aspect of life, from personal relationships to our careers.
It's like having a secret weapon, a way to unlock new possibilities and see the world through a different lens.
Yeah, okay.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. Intuition, empathy, leadership, spirituality, creativity. These are all qualities that help us navigate the complexities of life and connect with the world around us on a deeper level.
That's a great observation. It's as if those with the M mark are equipped with a unique set of tools to understand themselves, others, and the universe in a more profound way.
Okay, one last trait to uncover. What's the final piece of this M mark puzzle?
The article concludes by linking the mark to resilience.
Resilience.
That ability to bounce back from adversity and emerge stronger on the other side.
Resilience. We all need a good dose of that M mark or not. Life throws curveballs, and it's how we handle those challenges that really defines us.
Exactly. And the article suggests that those with the M mark might have an innate strength and determination that helps them weather those storms.
But isn't resilience something you can develop even if you weren't born with it? I mean, we're not all just stuck with whatever personality traits we inherited, right?
That's a great point. While some people might naturally possess a more resilient spirit, research actually shows that resilience is also a skill that can be cultivated through practice and effort.
Oh, interesting. So how do we do that?
It's about learning coping mechanisms, developing a positive mindset, and building a support system that can help you navigate tough times.
There's like building mental and emotional muscles. The more we challenge ourselves and push through adversity, the stronger and more resilient we become.
Precisely. And that's a pretty empowering message, don't you think? It means we're not just victims of circumstance.
Right.
We have the power to shape our own responses, to build our inner strength, and bounce back from whatever life throws our way.
Okay, so we've explored all 6 traits linked to the M mark: intuition, empathy, leadership, spirituality, creativity, and resilience. It's quite a combination. But how does all of this translate to real life? I mean, does having the M mark automatically guarantee success and happiness?
Not necessarily. These traits are simply predispositions, potentials.
Yeah.
It's up to each individual to nurture and develop them. And even then, life is full of complexities and challenges.
That's true, but it's still fascinating to consider how these qualities, whether inherited or cultivated, can shape our experiences and influence our interactions with the world. The article also talks about how these traits can play a role in relationships. I'm curious to explore that further.
Yeah, the article dives into how these 6 qualities can impact our connections with others, and it's actually quite insightful.
So how do these M mark traits actually play out in our relationships? Can you give us some examples?
Well, let's take intuition, for instance, in the context of a romantic relationship.
Right.
If you're highly intuitive, you might be more attuned to your partner's unspoken needs and emotions.
Like you can just sense when something's off.
Exactly. You might pick up on subtle cues that others miss.
That's like having an emotional radar.
Yeah, kind of. You could be more proactive in offering support and understanding, which could really strengthen the bond between you.
That makes a lot of sense. And what about empathy? How does that come into play?
Well, being able to truly understand and share your partner's feelings creates a deep sense of connection and intimacy.
Right.
It fosters trust and vulnerability, allowing for a more authentic and fulfilling relationship.
But like we talked about before, too much empathy can be draining.
Yeah,
How do you balance that need to protect your own emotional well-being in a relationship?
that's where boundaries are essential.
Ah, yes. Boundaries. Even in the closest relationships, it's important to maintain a sense of self and not get lost in the other person's emotions.
Makes sense.
It's about recognizing your limits and communicating them clearly.
So it's not about shutting down empathy altogether,
No, not at all.
but about managing it in a healthy, sustainable way.
Okay, what about leadership? How does that factor into relationship?
Again, it's not about one person being the boss.
Right.
It's more about both partners feeling empowered to lead in their own way.
So what did that look like in practice?
It could mean taking initiative, offering guidance and support, or just being a reliable and dependable presence for your partner.
So it's about sharing responsibilities and navigating life's challenges as a team.
Precisely.
Okay, I like that. What about spirituality? How does that impact relationships?
Sharing spiritual beliefs or practices can definitely create a strong bond.
Right, like a shared sense of purpose.
Exactly. But even if partners have different spiritual views, simply respecting each other's beliefs can foster a lot of understanding and connection.
It's about that deeper level of compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what about creativity? How can that spice things up in a relationship?
Well, creativity can bring a sense of playfulness and excitement to a relationship.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It could involve trying new things together, exploring different hobbies, or finding unique ways to express your love and appreciation for each other.
So it's about keeping things fresh and exciting and preventing that dreaded relationship rut.
Exactly.
And lastly, resilience. We talked about how important that is for life in general, but I imagine it's crucial for getting through tough times in a relationship.
Absolutely. Resilience helps couples weather the storms, learn from their mistakes, and come out stronger on the other side.
So it's about having each other's backs,
Mm.
offering support and encouragement, and working together to overcome those obstacles.
Exactly. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Love it.
Yeah.
So these M-mark qualities can really have a profound impact on our relationships. But the article also mentions their significance for personal growth. Can you
Yeah.
talk a bit more about that?
Sure. These 6 qualities, they're like a roadmap for personal development, you know?
Oh, interesting. Tell me more.
For example, developing your intuition can help you make better decisions,
Okay.
and it can strengthen your connection to your inner wisdom. While cultivating empathy allows for greater self-awareness and more meaningful connections with others.
And what about leadership?
Well, honing those leadership skills can help you take charge of your life, set clearer goals, and ultimately achieve your dreams.
I like that.
Hmm.
So what about spirituality? How does that contribute to personal growth?
Well, spirituality is all about finding meaning and purpose in life, connecting with something bigger than ourselves, and developing a sense of inner peace and fulfillment.
And creativity.
Creativity allows us to express ourselves authentically, explore new possibilities, and just approach life with a sense of curiosity and wonder.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
And lastly, resilience.
Resilience helps us overcome challenges, learn from our setbacks, and ultimately become stronger and more adaptable individuals.
Wow, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
Yeah.
Seems like whether or not you actually have the M mark on your palm, these 6 qualities are incredibly valuable for anyone looking to live a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
I couldn't agree more. It's not really about palmistry, you know? It's about recognizing our potential. We all have the capacity to cultivate these qualities within ourselves and experience the positive ripple effects in every area of our lives.
So it's like we've been given a toolkit for personal growth, a set of guidelines for navigating the complexities of life and becoming the best versions of ourselves.
Exactly. And if you had to pick one of these 6 qualities to focus on developing right now, which would it be? Why? That's something worth pondering.
That's a great question for our listeners to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. It's been an insightful exploration. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those minds open to new possibilities.